Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for the collaboration of destiny, the collaboration of dreams. It is part 2, which means if you didn't see part 1, then you got to go and watch it after this one, because we're talking Chelsea, we're getting excited for the new season, we're talking transfers today on my channel because Jan's here with me. Let me actually introduce the fella instead of being a rude little you-know-what. Yanislav, how you doing?
Good, mate. It's like that person when you go talk to some friends at a party but you don't introduce your mate and he's just standing there feeling awkward.
That's great. I'm happy you're here, my man. I'm happy you're here. We're going to be talking expectations today. Expectations, trying to get some statements out of both myself and Jan about how many goals we're going to score, who's going to be the top goal scorer, how many points, maybe even, I don't know, I'm a man of persuasion sometimes. I like to think I can get what I want, but not always. But I'm going to try and get Jan to give his prediction of where we're going to finish to some extent this season. I'm hoping that we can get to the meat and potatoes of that within today's video. Over on Jan's channel, we discuss a little bit about the way we're going to play, how do we feel about this window. I know it's kind of obvious we're all a little bit happy, but we go into details about individuals and how they could link up with this player, how it can change the way we played last season. So if you want to go and watch that, which you should want to do, Jan's links are in the description down below, but make sure you watch this one first. And make sure you bloody subscribe before we go any further. But Jan, we talked a little bit about how we're going to play, so we won't touch upon that again. What do you think is going to change in particular from the season we've just seen under Frank and what we're about to witness for the following season?
Okay, it's less suspect, more high-octane football that, you're just watching and instead of watching a football match, you think you're watching a montage of goals and assists and tricks, and you've just, automatically, inherently got Queen, Don't Stop Me Now playing in your mind, and, suddenly before you know it, Frank Lampard's holding up a trophy, before you know it.
Wow, okay, so I said that the goal was to get bold statements out of Jan, so you've alluded there that we're going to win something.
No, I don't.
Do we win?
Okay, that's not my official answer, so I'll answer that particular question when you pose it to me later.
Okay, so you also mentioned montage football, which again implies that Chelsea are going to be so fluid, so good, we're going to be scoring a lot of goals. Do you think that montage-worthy defending is also something that we might see in the end-of-season videos this year as well? Okay,
good and obviously very important question, man. Montage-worthy defenders, I'd probably say no. 50% of our starting backlines, we already know is switched in the form of Ben Chilwell and Thiago Silva. We don't know how a centre-back partnership's going to work. We don't know if Azpilicueta is going to play at right-back to speak French with Thiago Silva so he can speak French next to Zuma. Is Reece James going to be able to communicate flawlessly with Thiago Silva if he's on that side? Or, how's it going to work? Who's going to be in goal? Is it going to be Kepa or Edouard Mendy? We know for a fact... we don't know much for a fact because this is Chelsea at the moment, but I think there's more uncertainty towards the back than the front. So I wouldn't say montage worthy, but definitely we need to tighten up. I know you might want to talk about how many goals you think we're going to concede in the league, which is it a good time to talk about that? Because it has to be a lot better than last season.
Yeah, I think this is the time. Just to add to what you said, I think the fact of the matter is we're not losing any defenders who made our team defend well last season. I think that's the key thing for me when I look at the outgoings or potential outgoings, because at the moment the Emerson deal's kind of slowed down for him to leave. Centre-back wise, Ampadu's just gone out on loan. We don't know if anyone else is going to go out on loan. Yeah. So it has to get better. It can't get worse. We're trying to bring in a goalkeeper. Thiago Silva is he's that guy that's going to hopefully be shouting and screaming at the players to organise everybody. And then Mendy, if he does come in, is the big gargantuan tall goalkeeper who can actually command his area and get balls out of the air so that we don't actually have to defend corners. So I think in my mind, there's no way that we can defend as badly as we did last season. And in terms of the numbers and the stats, surely we have to be trying to concede maybe 20 less goals in the Premier League this season, at minimum, in terms of the change.
Yeah, totally with you, man. What was it mid-50s, 56? I can't remember the exact number, but it was record record-breaking, or certainly the worst in like 20 years or something ridiculous for Chelsea in the league. Absolutely an insane amount of goals conceded. Obviously, even if we just conceded a few less, we'd be so clear of Manchester United in the finishing spots in the Premier League last season. You do think the most amount of goals, 35 or less, I want to say, it's very, very difficult. Thiago Silva will hate conceding goals. He's such a professional and a leader. He's like offended by the fact, of conceding goals, and I feel like Chelsea haven't been like that for a long, long time. We've just sort of like shoulders drop, heads drop, it's like, oh, another one's gone in. But they need to be disgusted at the fact they've conceded a goal, and I think Thiago Silva will bring a bit of that back. So yeah, hopefully shave 20 goals off that, and he'll do well to do that, because like we've previously discussed, there's going to be a lack of chemistry and there's going to be like a teething process there. So I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, no, it has to be. I think we have to remember that when the season begins, we're not going to have the full strength defence. We also will have a goalkeeper potentially who's like making a debut, who's just met his teammates. Or we have Kepa, who was liable last season to make many mistakes. But I also think that going forward, Chelsea might, if we don't fix the defence, if these Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell signings, and let's just say hypothetically Mendy comes through the door as well, if this doesn't fix a leaky defence, we've also brought in people behind the scenes at the club as well, staff members who are designed to come in and actually help with the defensive strategy at the club. So let's not forget that as well. We surely we're scoring more goals this season with the players we've brought in. What combination of players, if you had to pick two combinations of two, who's going to link up the best this season to make sure Chelsea score even more goals than we did last season?
Okay, well, firstly, there's an obvious one, and we've already seen it. Hakim Ziyech's left boot, passing from the right flank onto the inside left channel, where gunman Timo Werner will receive and convert. And from there, I kind of like, I think Havertz and Werner as well. And that sounds a bit of a cop-out saying Werner twice, but we've seen how he actually can come short and do combinational play on the edge of the area. Maybe to spice things up, I think because of how Pulisic will dribble infield, I think I'd like to see him and Havertz linking up between the lines. So maybe more long passes between Werner and Ziyech, and maybe dribbling, combining between the lines between Pulisic and Havertz. It all just sounds wonderful, doesn't it, George?
I'm like, we could have sat here all day and like come up with two player combinations for the next like 30 minutes, and I think everybody in the comments would be like, but you didn't mention this guy, you didn't mention that guy. We're like, okay, sorry, like we just got too many flipping good players. I'm going to make a statement now, I'm going to say that I already said on your channel, and I'm going to say it again for those of you that haven't seen it, you should definitely go and watch anyway. Timo Werner will score 25 Premier League goals in his debut season. And I also believe that Christian Pulisic will score 15 Premier League goals this season. I think these players that have come in, yes, we're all excited about them. Yes, I've been accused of forgetting about Christian Pulisic, but honestly, it's not the case in the slightest. When I do my predicted lineup videos, which are going to be coming out very soon, Pulisic isn't missing in any of them. Pulisic starts in every single Chelsea team that I put out when he's fit. Yes, the injuries were a problem last season. That's got to improve in terms of like he probably does get injured a bit too easily. But if he stays injury-free, Christian Pulisic for me is the main man in this Chelsea team, regardless of the Ziyech signing, regardless of the Havertz signing. I think his game is going to elevate so much this year because we already saw it at the second part of last season. He's going to be massive. Yeah.
Yo.
I've got a question for you again, mate. You know, I didn't get you on the channel to sit here like a lemon. Do you believe that we will challenge for the Premier League title this season?
I know you're ever the optimist, but I'm going to bring some pragmatic balance and say no. But I don't think that's the challenge for Frank Lampard's Chelsea, is to close the gap, the 35 odd points, whatever it was. If we can go 20 points closer, concede less goals like we spoke about at the top of the video. Hell, we don't need to score more goals if we concede less, but yes, we will score more goals purely because of the firepower. That will be progress. More goals, a lot less conceded. Shave the gap by 20 odd points, which probably won't put us into a title challenge, and look more philosophically sound, like we have a strong plan. That is the challenge, in my opinion.
You see, the thing for me is, you're
25
saying,
goals, Werner, Premier League title, easy.
you know, like you're right. I am ever the optimist, and I don't want to just like blaringly make stupid comments and say that I fully believe Chelsea will win the league, because I don't think we will win it, but I think we'll be very, very close, because I don't think Liverpool are going to be as good this season. I don't think they're going to have the free roam of just win. I look at all of the other clubs in the league. Look at Everton. They've strengthened massively. Look at Wolves. They're bringing in flipping Football Manager wonder kids. They're going to improve. Spurs are going to improve with a proper pre-season under Mourinho. Arsenal are looking decent under Arteta. United, I mean, like, it could be an embarrassment if they don't sign anybody, but I mean, they've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the wheel. Like, who gave him that job? Like, I think Chelsea will get a lot closer because we will score more, and I think we will concede less. But I genuinely feel as though, like, we could be in a race with the last 3 games to go, and I don't. Yeah. It's kind of pointless if I don't make the statement. I don't think we'll win it. But I think we will get very, very close. And I think that it will be one of those seasons where, like, we just have to make sure that we keep injuries to a minimum. I think we could get crippled by injuries, and that could be the difference.
We've got
at this point in time when I look at the hit. Pardon?
Sorry, I just wanted to, while you said that on the pick-up, we've got a massive squad now as well. That's one thing Chelsea have got against the opposition. So many midfielders and forwards, so when it comes to injuries and fatigue, we've got an ace up our sleeve, and that is an army of players at the moment, quality players.
That is very true. I almost feel as if you're getting me to try and change my mind, Jan. You're trying to get me to say we will win it because of your counter arguments, you know?
I want your Twitter mentions to explode one way or another, positively or negatively. Don't let George have a quiet life. He gets enough chill out in Bali.
That's very true. Like, Jan's pushing the buttons now for you guys, but obviously with all of these discussions that Jan and I have, we would love to hear what you guys have to say about it in the comments down below. I will be doing a Premier League predictions video at some point soon. The big question for me is the gap that there was this season was unacceptable for Chelsea Football Club. And when the topic of this conversation is expectations, Chelsea Football Club, as an entity, expects to be challenging for the Premier League title every season. Last season was probably the first time in a very long time where the expectations within the club weren't in alignment with going for the title. We saw the squad, we saw the transfer ban, we have Frank Lampard as the manager, we allowed this feel-good factor to ride us into a wave, and we did incredibly well. And I think top 4, FA Cup final, was a very successful first season. The question is always going to be on the lips of everybody when they see this transfer window that Chelsea have had. With the money that's been spent, Frank Lampard now cannot fail with this team. Otherwise, it's a massive, massive letdown. So, in my opinion, a title challenge must be the expectations this season because we have invested so heavily with the correct players, with, like Jan said earlier, this high-octane kind of player, versatile player that can actually deliver exactly what Frank Lampard is looking to achieve. Jan, where are we going to finish? You have to give me a position.
That was such an epic monologue of like what Chelsea are and what we expect of them. I think Chelsea are going to finish 3rd place. I think they're going to finish 10 points off top, and I think we're going to get through a further round in the Champions League. We might win a domestic cup, but more so, Chelsea will respect us as the 3rd best team in England, pushing for the best team, and who knows, we might become that in the next year following.
Incredible. Well, that's Jan's prediction. I'm not going to say it because I'm doing a video very soon and I don't want to ruin it. So I'm just going to let Jan be the man who makes the numbers, and I'm going to say that we're going to win the Champions League, the FA Cup, and lose the League Cup final to Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-2 on penalties. So anyway, that's going to wrap this video up today. Expectations for Chelsea this season. It's done. We've let you know what we think about what we're going to do. I'd love to hear what you guys think we're going to do in the comments down below. As I said earlier, if you want to go and watch part 1, which I hope you do, it's on Jan's channel. Link to that is in the description. Go give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram as well. We post on there most days, if not every flipping day. Thank you guys for watching. Yanislav, you got anything you want to add before we toodle off into the moon?
Not really, man. Just check me out for. Oh yeah, dude. Really quickly, I've started a Twitch channel streaming FIFA. So twitch.tv/Jan's Yard. Jan's Yard. Go check it out. Peace.
You sounded like the guy who like announces that the trains are about to arrive.
I did have
Jan's
like
Yard.
it as well.
Jan's Yard.
Mind
All right
the
then,
gap.
guys. We'll see you very soon. Bye bye.
Peace.